A memorandum of understanding was signed in Juba between South Sudan Islamic Council and the Sudanese Authority for Preaching and Ansar Affairs, right? Now, the purpose is to promote Islamic teachings, which is called dawah, train preachers, imams, organize conferences, seminars, and religious outreaches, and possibly establish joint religious institutions between Sudan and South Sudan. Now, this MOU has caused a stir among South Sudanese, especially on social media. They see the headline, they have not gone into the details of what constitutes that MOU, and they begin to say, Islam is coming back, what we fought against is coming back, this country is going to be taken over, and all of that. And this mentality will tell you that most South Sudanese have been preconditioned to hate Islam. Even me, myself, growing up in the liberated areas, we always thought Islam was the problem. We always thought Muslims were the problem. But if you read the manifesto of the SPLM, the 1983 manifesto, it states the root cause of the problem in the then Sudan. The root cause of the problem, according to the manifesto and according to Dr. John Garang, was the marginalization of the South by what he calls, or by what the manifesto calls, a minority clique in Khartoum. It does not only talk about the marginalization of the South, of other areas also in the North. They are also marginalized, even though they are Muslims. So the marginalization was based on race, ethnicity. Those are some of the key areas in which the people were marginalized. So the number one thing was to fight the marginalization and the oppression of the South and other marginalized areas. It was not to fight Muslims. Dr. John Garang stated it every time he spoke, every time he addressed people, he made that clear. All right? Now, the problem was that religion was being used. Religion was institutionalized. And if you're not a Muslim, that becomes a problem for you. Even though some Muslims from other ethnic backgrounds were also being marginalized. So the other thing where religion is mentioned in the manifesto of the SPLM is that there should be a separation of religion and state. Sudan should not be an Islamic state. Everyone should be free. The government should be free from being attached to a specific religion. Christians should be free. Muslims should be free. The African traditionalists should be free. Everyone should be free to establish their, to practice their religion. That is according to Dr. John. All right? So you can see that Muslims or Islam was not the problem, but the institutionalization of religion by the clique in the North. And the marginalization based on ethnicity and race were the key issues. So now that South Sudan is a separate country, it does not mean that because we're going to have our Muslims who are from the South, what are we going to do about them? What are we going to do with them? Are we going to expel them? No. Our constitution and our laws grant the right for religious freedom to practice, people of different religions to practice their religions. But there has to be a separation of religion from state. South Sudan is a secular state. All right? Now that means the Muslims can practice their religions outside of the things and the runnings of the government. The Christians, the same thing. The African traditionalists, the same thing. All right? That is there. And if you look at this MOU, it is not something, a state policy, or it is not the government that is doing this. It is between two bodies, the Islamic Council of South Sudan and the Sudan Authority for Preaching and Ansar. The problem is this: once this MOU becomes a state policy that is enforced on people and infringes the right of other people or other religious groups to practice their religion, that is where a problem will come in. But as long as they are doing their things, the law allows them to do their things. All right? So there is no cause for alarm over this MOU. That's number one. Number two, if you're a Christian or from any other religion and you're afraid of the domination of Islam, that Islam is going to grow in this country, then what you have to do is to go on the offensive. And what I mean by that is you have to also evangelize. Go out and spread your teachings, spread your beliefs. Be aggressive with the evangelization of the people. And the one that is serious about what they do will emerge victorious. All right? Number three, most of you are neither Christians nor Muslims. Maybe native doctors. I don't know. All right? So, you hear anything about Islam, you are enraged by that. Why? You are not Christian, but you want to, you only identify yourself as a Christian when there is something to do with Islam. But what is it going to profit you if you fight Islam here on earth and you don't make it to the kingdom of God? Because you're not a Christian. So what are you going to benefit? So please, guys, when we see something on the news, let's read. Don't just read the headlines and comment.